All right, this is a really juicy topic, the thyroid functions and dysfunctions. Now, I want you to remember that when it comes to thyroid dysfunction, it's not just about the thyroid gland itself. There can be dysfunctions in the production of thyroid hormones, which it doesn't necessarily mean that the actual glandular tissue, that's called the thyroid gland, doesn't mean that that's actually problematic. It could be that an enzyme or a protein, there's a problem in there. Or it could be that there's a mineral deficiency somewhere in the body. The body's having trouble accessing a mineral, enough of it, in order to have healthy thyroid function. So it's having to like down regulate its thyroid function. Could be that the thyroid gland itself, or one of the production steps in the making of active thyroid hormones, could be that is sensitive to a chemical. Maybe there was an overexposure. Maybe you were working in a spa or a nail salon or hair salon, or maybe you were working out in the industry, you know, building buildings, in an automotive mechanics shop, you know, stuff like that, working on heavy equipment. Stuff where you get grease all over your hands and everything smells. You know, those types of situations. And we do live in a polluted world. So that could be another reason why a thyroid function could start to dysfunction, whether it's becoming overactive, hyperthyroidism, or underactive, hypothyroidism. Okay? Another one of the reasons could be stress, overwork, overwhelm, where the body is spinning. It's like our RPMs are too high, right? We're just like this on the inside. We gotta stay calm. We gotta get everything done. We've got so many responsibilities, and we're looking after so many people, that adrenal fatigue can start to set in. And once adrenal fatigue starts to set in, you're going to get a down regulation of thyroid production. That's just the way it is. Okay, so you're going to get a down regulation of active thyroid hormone production if you get adrenal fatigue. That's just the way it goes. However, it doesn't mean it's an actual thyroid problem. It just means it's a down regulating of part of the endocrine system, because the body is busy producing stress hormones. The body's busy dealing with the adrenal problem, okay? And that's all. So at that point, if there's a thyroid dysfunction, that might be actually a really great time to catch it before a true thyroid condition starts to happen. Now, there's many ways that you can monitor for thyroid dysfunction, and one way is to know like what hypothyroidism looks like. But like, okay, so let's take a step back. What's the role of the thyroid? The role of the thyroid is metabolism, body temperature regulation, mental clarity, energy, physical strength. So you're looking at, when you have a low functioning thyroid, okay, you're gonna have lower metabolism, so you're gonna be a little more prone to weight gain. That said, I have hypothyroidism. And when I got mine diagnosed, I was skinny as a rake up here. I was bloated down here, but so don't think that everything goes by the textbooks. Oh, I'm not gaining weight, so I don't have hypothyroidism. Keep looking. Okay, what else can be a sign of hypothyroidism? Chilly, if you get chilled all the time. Okay, so are you ready for the exception? If you're going through menopause, start to get hot flashes, heat flushes, that can be an indication that you're going through menopause. You can still have a thyroid dysfunction as well. And actually, I've had women in my office, and they're going through menopause, and I'm like, they get a hot flash in the middle in my office. It's very evident they're having a hot flash. And I'm like, can I just check your temperature right now? And I do. So they're very gracious. So I've done it a few times now, and I've noticed that even in a hot flash, your body temperature can be low. Meaning that tells me, all right, the body temperature is still too low and you're having a hot flash, there's probably a thyroid problem. You know, and maybe you feel fine during the day, but maybe if you go outside and it's damp and then you just can't warm up again, that could be a symptom. You know, if that hasn't always been that way, but it is now, it could be a symptom of thyroid problems. If you feel like you don't have any time for leisure and you just want to lie around, you don't have the energy, you don't have the brain space, you don't have the heart space, you don't have the physical capability that you used to. You know, I'm not as young as I used to be. You know, the thing about me is that when and I've got a history, like I've had thyroid problems since the beginning of my career. I was like a year and a half into my career when I found my TSH to be 100. since then, I've had thyroid crises a few times where I wasn't on enough medication and I was in hypothyroidism again. And let me tell ya, and there was one time when I actually went off my medication and tried all the natural stuff. Bad idea for me at that point. Doesn't mean it can't be done. Wasn't the time or place at that point. I didn't notice like how many extra courses have I taken on thyroid dysfunctions? I have lived this and didn't notice that I was in a thyroid crisis. Did my blood work, TSH was through the roof. Anti-thyroid peroxidase was through the roof. So I didn't notice because I was so busy trying to get all of my responsibilities done in a day that was my entire focus. I didn't even notice that I wasn't doing leisure stuff anymore. I was just trying to keep up. That's why I didn't notice. So, hypothyroidism can affect your appetite. Absolutely, we tend to crave comfort foods more so than like vegetables, and it's just they don't digest very well. And I actually find that when we're in a hypothyroid state, we don't digest quite as well. We tend to get more bloating, gaseous. We actually tend to need more probiotics, those types of things, because body temperature, basal body temperature, actually affects our intestinal flora, the bacteria, the beneficial bacteria, the probiotics that naturally exist in our intestines. Our basal body temperature actually has an effect on that balance. Did you know that? Yeah. But let me tell you about hyperthyroidism. High metabolism. It's not too much energy, trust me. It's not too much energy. What you have is too high of a body temperature. And you get this it's like you've had way too much coffee, but you're still super tired. It's not fun. The eyes can be kind of bulging out a little bit, just like, like that hyper caffeinated, you know what I mean? Glistening skin every time. If there's a hyperthyroid flare and someone comes in, they got that glisten on their skin every single time. It's like that. It's not sweat. I don't know how to describe it. And they're tense. There's a lot of tension around in everywhere. They're just like trying to hang on so they don't fly away, But it certainly isn't a good, enjoyable thing. You feel, I wish I had hyper instead of hypo. Ha ha ha, I could lose some weight. Personally, I'd much rather have hypothyroidism than hyperthyroidism. Absolutely. At least I can still function in hypothyroid. Hyperthyroidism is very, very difficult to concentrate on anything. So you actually get more done in a hypothyroid state than in a hyperthyroid state. And you get more sleep. At least you get your sleep. At least you get your sleep in hypothyroidism. So if someone has hyperthyroidism, don't be making any jokes. They're too tired. They're not getting any sleep. They're just going to be grumpy. So that's the basics. We'll talk to you soon.